Good morning. It's May 5th, and this is your daily brief in science. Here's everything you need to know. A recent study published in The Lancet eBiomedicine reveals a concerning link between D2-ethylhexyl phthalates, or DEHP, and cardiovascular deaths. The research estimates that in 2018, DEHP exposure was responsible for approximately 356,238 deaths worldwide, which accounts for over 13% of heart disease mortality among individuals aged 55 to 64. The study analyzed population surveys from 200 countries alongside mortality data from the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation. This highlights the urgent need to address this global health crisis. Notably, India reported the highest mortality rate from DEHP exposure, with an estimated 103,587 deaths, while countries like China and Indonesia also faced significant risks due to their industrial practices. The economic toll of these DEHP-related deaths is estimated to be between $510 billion and $3.7 trillion, placing a considerable strain on global healthcare systems. Researchers are calling for immediate global regulations to limit phthalate exposure, particularly in rapidly industrializing nations such as India, where the unregulated use of plastics worsens health risks. India's high mortality rate is linked to its growing plastics industry and the widespread use of DEHP-containing products, compounded by weaker regulatory measures. Phthalates are commonly found in food containers, packaging, cosmetics, and medical devices, raising serious public health concerns as they can leach into the body. The study suggests that the actual mortality linked to plastic exposure may be even higher, with DEHP also associated with other health issues, including obesity, diabetes, fertility problems, and cancer. Experts are calling for more comprehensive studies to understand the long-term health implications of microplastics and household chemicals. Despite some criticisms regarding the study's limitations, researchers like Dr. Christos Simeonidis emphasize the consistent evidence of DEHP's adverse health impacts and the critical need for global exposure monitoring. The study also found that about 13.4% of all cardiovascular disease deaths worldwide in 2018 were attributable to 4 specific DEHP metabolites, underscoring the chemical's significant health impact, especially in regions like the Middle East, South Asia, East Asia, and the Pacific, where calls for stricter regulations on toxic substances are growing. Researchers at the University of California, San Diego are spearheading a groundbreaking global study that includes thousands of dogs from 47 countries. This study explores how dogs communicate with their owners through sound buttons labeled with words such as outside, food, and help. The findings suggest that dogs may not only express their needs, but also their thoughts, indicating a more complex understanding than previously thought. The research shows that some dogs make intentional choices when pressing these buttons, reflecting genuine thought processes rather than random actions. For instance, Stella, a Blue Heeler Catahoula mix from San Diego, pressed help, water, and outside when her usual beach button was missing. This behavior demonstrates her ability to combine concepts related to water, hinting at a deeper level of communication. These observations raise important questions about the extent of dogs' communication capabilities. Experiments conducted during the study aimed to distinguish whether dogs were genuinely trying to communicate or simply seeking treats. One notable example is Parker, who pressed help and look when he couldn't open a container, indicating an understanding of how to ask for assistance. The research utilized an array of buttons that vocalize specific words when pressed, allowing dogs to express their requests and emotions. These findings could significantly alter our understanding of interspecies communication, potentially enhancing the bond between pets and their owners. As technology continues to advance, including developments in AI, our understanding of how dogs communicate with humans may further improve. Leo Trottier, a PhD graduate and CEO of Fluent Pet, emphasized Stella's understanding of water as a broader concept, suggesting that dogs may possess a more nuanced understanding of their environment than previously recognized. Researchers are analyzing button presses from dogs around the world to determine if they are demonstrating true understanding or merely pressing buttons that lead to specific actions. Recent research has uncovered a concerning link between alcohol consumption and the acceleration of Alzheimer's disease, a prominent form of dementia. A study conducted in 2023 by Atrium Health at Wake Forest University School of Medicine revealed that even moderate alcohol intake can lead to brain atrophy and an increase in amyloid plaque accumulation, both of which are associated with Alzheimer's. Associate Professor Shannon McCauley emphasized that moderate alcohol consumption poses a risk of brain injury, categorizing it as a modifiable risk factor for Alzheimer's and dementia. In a comprehensive analysis involving brain scans of 40,000 individuals, researchers from Oxford University confirmed that alcohol is a significant risk factor for cognitive decline and Alzheimer's, particularly affecting vulnerable brain regions. Professor Gwenaëlle Duode, who led the Oxford study, noted that alcohol, along with diabetes and air pollution, impacts specific brain areas that are prone to degeneration with age. At Wake Forest, researchers found that alcohol consumption not only increased amyloid plaques, but also caused metabolic disruptions related to Alzheimer's, such as elevated blood sugar and insulin resistance. Health organizations, including those in the UK, recommend limiting alcohol intake to no more than 14 units per week to reduce health risks, including cognitive decline and dementia. This guideline translates to approximately 6 medium glasses of wine or 6 pints of 4% beer, emphasizing the importance of moderation in alcohol consumption. Concerns about moderate drinking's impact on brain health are heightened by the fact that over 944,000 people in the UK are currently affected by dementia. Individuals experiencing early symptoms of dementia, such as mood changes, memory loss, and difficulty concentrating, are encouraged to seek medical advice. Common early signs of dementia include confusion about time and place, challenges in following conversations, and difficulties with familiar daily tasks, prompting the need for medical consultation. According to the NHS, 1 unit of alcohol is defined as 10 milliliters or 8 grams of pure alcohol, which is the average amount an adult can metabolize in 1 hour. Research from the University of Oregon has uncovered a significant finding in the battle against superbugs. The yeast Malassezia sympodialis, commonly found on human skin, produces a fatty acid that effectively combats Staphylococcus aureus, a notorious pathogen responsible for over 1 million deaths globally each year. This yeast generates 10-hydroxypalmitic acid, or 10-HP, which inhibits the growth of S. aureus by creating an acidic environment on the skin, enhancing its antimicrobial effectiveness. Laboratory experiments showed that treatment with Emmer sympodialis significantly reduced the viability of various S. aureus strains by over 100-fold within just 2 hours. The study highlights the skin microbiome's natural defenses against infections, pointing to the importance of exploring these biological interactions further. Caitlin Kowalski, the lead author of the study, noted the significance of discovering a known compound with antimicrobial properties that had previously been overlooked due to its specific activation conditions. These findings, published in the journal Current Biology, suggest a promising avenue for combating antibiotic-resistant infections. However, it's crucial to recognize that S. aureus can develop resistance to 10-HP, similar to its resistance to traditional antibiotics. This underscores the need for ongoing research into effective therapies. To address this challenge, the researchers plan to investigate the genetic mechanisms behind antibiotic resistance in staph infections, aiming to improve treatment and prevention strategies. A recent study published in Nature Communications reveals a concerning shift in underwater light conditions due to global warming-induced sea ice loss in polar regions, which could have detrimental effects on marine life. Led by marine biologists Monica Soja-Wozniak and Jeff Huisman from the University of Amsterdam, the research team, which included experts from the Netherlands and Denmark, investigated how the melting of sea ice is impacting light spectra in the ocean. As sea ice melts, the underwater light transitions from a diverse spectrum to one dominated by blue wavelengths. This shift negatively affects the photosynthetic efficiency of algae that rely on a broader range of light colors. Computer simulations conducted by the researchers demonstrated that the main light wavelength shifts from around 550 nanometers, which corresponds to green light under ice, to 472 nanometers, indicating a predominance of blue light in open water. The research suggests that algal species that are specialized for blue light may outcompete ice algae, potentially changing the species composition and productivity of these organisms. Lead author Monika Soja-Wozniak emphasized that algae adapted to the diverse light spectrum found under ice may struggle to survive in this new, blue-dominated environment. Some algae, such as Arctic diatoms, traditionally thrive under varied light conditions, but may be at a disadvantage in this altered environment. Professor Jeff Huseman pointed out that changes in algae productivity or composition could diminish the ocean's ability to absorb CO2, further exacerbating climate change and affecting the Arctic food web. The findings highlight the need for improved climate models and ocean forecasts that take into account these changes in light spectra and photosynthesis in polar regions. Researchers noted that as ice melts, sunlight becomes increasingly limited and primarily blue, impacting the microscopic organisms that are vital to the marine food chain. Adaptation to these new light conditions may not be feasible for many species, as the rapid pace of ice melting outstrips the evolutionary capacity of organisms to adjust their pigments. This has been your daily brief in science. To read more about these stories, follow the links in the episode bio. You can also subscribe to these updates via email at www.brief.news. For more daily podcasts about the topics you love, visit brief.news/podcasts. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be back with everything you need to know.